Hi, everyone. Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. It's Wednesday, and that means it's Crime Stoppers Day, and we are lucky enough to have along with us today Captain John Baker with UNLPD. Captain Baker, it's been about a month since we last spoke. How have you been?
I've been great. It's been good on campus, nice weather. It's been pretty good. How about you?
You know what? I've stayed out of trouble for the most part, so you'd be happy, you'd be proud of me. But yeah, no, things have been good. I asked you beforehand. I was curious as to how maybe Halloween went on campus, if it got maybe a little unruly. But you said
no,
so quiet.
Yeah, for the most part, everything was quiet. Kids had fun. I mean, there's a lot of good costumes on campus. But,
I bet.
Yeah, it was good.
Good deal. All right, so we're talking today about a couple things. We have a couple crimes that occurred on campus that we need some help solving.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a little bit older, but they were posted to the website not too long ago, so I thought I'd highlight them, see if anybody has some information on them.
So our first one is a theft of an electric scooter. And it sounds like someone was just moving stuff back and forth between the Union and the Multicultural Center. And
yeah, so if you're not familiar, the buildings are pretty close together.
Yeah.
So he was helped moving things back and forth using the skateboard, actually.
Yeah.
Pretty ingenious. But so he was using it, moving the boxes, and a group of guys saw it. And at first they all took turns kind of riding it, maybe like, this is kind of neat, kind of cool, whatever. But then it went south when one of them decided to pick it up and throw it in the car and take off with it, unfortunately.
Yeah, and so this we got, again, good pictures of the suspect who took this I think I called it a scooter. It's an electric skateboard. Who took it? It's the gentleman kind of in the middle there in the white shirt.
Correct.
And so this is who we think took this skateboard. And they got into this vehicle.
Yeah, that's between an 04 and 06 Subaru Legacy. Kind of unique in that it has the sunroof, the rear spoiler, and has some damage there on the right front corner. So. Oh yeah, a
little dent there. I didn't even see that.
Yep, there is some unique attributes about this car that might stick out to someone out there.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
And if you know someone who all of a sudden has a brand new brand new to them, electric skateboard. Give you guys a call, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, it was kind of new to the student as well. They just bought it a few months ago. So.
Well, that's disappointing. Again, as always, we'll pull this up so everyone can see it. But what's the best way to reach out to you guys to give a tip and to get in contact with you guys?
Well, if they want to remain anonymous, they need to go through Crime Stoppers. They can always call us directly. University's number is 472-2222. But to stay 100% completely anonymous, they'll need to go through the Crime Stoppers program using either the app, the phone number there, or leaving a tip online.
And that is the only way you would be eligible for a reward as well?
Correct. We do not give money out at the police department. We don't ask for it, and we don't give it out. But Crime Stoppers,
Crime Stoppers does.
Yes.
That's the whole point of Crime Stoppers,
right,
is to give out some cash for tips. So, again, if you know anything about this vehicle here, again, damage kind of on the front right side there, or this gentleman, again, in the white shirt here, who we believe is the suspect who took this electric skateboard, again, give us a call. Second crime today is the unfortunate, again, this is, I think, was a really big issue not too long ago.
Right. I was going to comment on that. I mean, it used to be we saw a lot more of these crimes there in a really short time frame, but there's still one or two events like this, the catalytic converters that get stolen now and then.
Catalytic converter theft.
Yep. Yeah, so I mean, LPD, us, LSO, we've all been trying to make arrests in these, and I think we've made a dent in it. I think that's why you've seen such a large decrease. But there's still some folks out there that see a chance to get some quick money, so they climb underneath and take these.
And so this happened on campus. A UNL student reported that someone stole the catalytic converter from their Ford F-250 pickup while it was parked on East Campus at 1710 Arbor Drive. And this vehicle was observed leaving the parking lot. So we're not 100% sure necessarily this is the vehicle that stole it, but
I can say that this vehicle was driving around. I can say it parked right next to that pickup.
Oh, okay.
I can say that it stayed there for about the length of time, that might be needed to cut a catalytic converter.
I didn't want to assume, but after you give me that information, I think we can assume.
And then they left, right? Yeah, they left shortly thereafter. So I'm pretty confident on that one.
And so this is, it looks like a dark blue Escalade. Is that what we're thinking?
Yeah, I think it's the years between 2002 and 2007. I think this model was released. So.
And I'll take off my lower thirds here, but we can almost make out a license plate there, just a little fuzzy.
A little bit, yeah, not enough. And some of us were thought, well, that could be another state, or it could be a personalized, like a Nebraska specialty plate. So we've tried working on that. Haven't been able to make much success on that plate. So.
How much? I mean, technology obviously has gone forward leaps and bounds.
Right.
I mean, just in the past few years, let alone the past couple decades. How much easier has your guys' job gotten just by the fact that, the cameras that are being installed, especially I would assume in some of the newer constructions that's happening on campus, I mean, that snap really clear pictures.
I mean, I'm not trying to brag, but when I come here every month, you usually get some pretty good photos from us, right?
Yes.
And really the photos are a little bit worse than the video that we get. So when you're playing the video, it looks pretty clear, but when you try to get still shots, sometimes the motion causes a little bit of blur in those still shots. But the university has a pretty good, a really good camera system that we're able to get these photos. And
so what would, for both of these crimes, again, the electric skateboard, this catalytic converter theft, what potential charges would we be looking at if we find these individuals? Yeah,
theft, and it'd be a misdemeanor. The skateboard was right around a little less than $500, if I remember correct. And from my knowledge, a catalytic converter off of a larger pickup like that isn't worth a lot, comparatively speaking. I mean, they still have the bills, so they could be looking at a theft and a vandalism charge on the catalytic converter theft.
And I'm assuming, and you tell me if I'm wrong here, but with both of these two types of crimes, if we know that it's happened once, it's probably happened other times as well.
Typically, yeah. And it's rare that someone would go around 1 o'clock in the morning, especially on that catalytic converter theft, that they'd creep around that time of day without some kind of purpose. And and it was clean cut with a saw. That
so they were planning on it.
Yes, they knew what they were looking for. And the other thing with the plates is sometimes we get a really great plate, but it turns out to be stolen or from another vehicle altogether or something like that. So that could be what we're seeing with that one too.
And so again, if you have any information on either one of these crimes, the electric scooter theft, the catalytic converter theft, again, we've already gone over it, but again, you can reach out directly to UNLPD, which the number on that was
472-2222.
472-2222, or you can contact Lincoln Police, 402-441-6000 to speak with an officer, an anonymous tip at 402-475-3600. Leave a tip online at LincolnCrimeStoppers.com, or again, download that P3 app, and you can leave that tip on that P3 app as well. And again, if we pull up the Crime Stoppers webpage, this is what it looks like. And again, both of these crimes are listed here on Crime Stoppers. But again, you get a bunch of crimes that are listed on here. So again, good thing to kind of go through, see if you know anything about any one of these.
Absolutely. And I want to remind folks when they're leaving tips, more is better. Sure, a name is great, but we still have to prove that person was there. So any information such as they've seen them with the stolen item, or they've seen them driving that car, and when they saw them and where they live, and so the more information the better, because sometimes we get tips, but there's just not enough there for us to really close the case on it.
100%. More is always better than less when it comes to this. And I should also add real quick, the electric skateboard theft, that happened in late August 27th, so about the time school started.
Right, yeah.
And then the catalytic converter theft was in mid-September, on September 13th. Yep. So again, it's been a minute since these occurred, and we need some tips to try and clear those cases, which again, go to Crime Stoppers there, crimestoppers.com, LincolnCrimeStoppers.com, and you can get all the details, and again, that's where also you can submit a tip. Captain Baker, you also wanted to talk about today the updated clear bag policy that UNL has.
Yeah, so
I didn't even know it was updated, so this is good information for me to hear.
Great. It's not a huge change, but as the market changes for what people are buying, and fashion and all that changes, we try to screen everything really well coming into all of our venues, right? And so that's the whole purpose of the clear bag policy, is to get people into the venue safely but quickly, so we can screen them. So I'm not going to speak much on the old policy because I don't want to cause a confusion there. Yeah. But so the athletics has really refined this to where it's pretty simple. Is it clear? And if it is, then it has to be smaller than 12 by 6 by 12.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not clear, then it has to be smaller than 4.5 by 6.5 inches.
It's like a little wallet.
Yeah,
clutch.
wallet, clutch, purse, something like that. Yeah. Straps don't matter. String bags, that kind of used to be the sticking point of is it allowed, is it not? Kind of moved away from that again because people are buying these items and wanting to take them. They're being sold as being clear. So, so to ease that confusion and make it more efficient to get people into the venues, they've updated that policy.
And you can find information this website I pulled up now is linked in the YouTube description. I believe it's just huskers.com/clear bag policy, is it not?
Clear bag, yep.
Clear bag. Okay. The other thing you wanted to talk about today is, and I guess you tell me, it was just sort of like UNLPD's threat assessment.
Yeah.
So
I come here once a month to talk about crimes.
Yeah.
We'd really like to not
Talk about
have
crimes.
those crimes,
Yes.
right? To try to prevent them. So our threat assessment program has been around really almost 20 years now, about 15 years. And the focus on that is to address troubling situations, concerning situations before harm is caused. And, this is if someone is talking about harming others, talking about harming themselves, if they are talking about wanting to plan an attack or plan something violent, any kind of targeted violence, that's what this unit is specifically geared for. It's housed within our police department, but we work with all the campus stakeholders and Lincoln Police and also as needed. But it's to really take a deep dive into those situations that are concerning to folks but have not yet risen to a level of being a crime.
Of legality, yeah.
Right. We want to, again, address them before they become crimes, and we don't want people to think it has to be a crime or it has to be a threat before they contact us. We really can't address these ahead of time.
And I was just doing a little perusing of this before you got here, and again, there's a PDF document that really goes into detail. I mean, this is something, and again, on campus, students stressed out, anxiety, a lot of stuff, a lot of emotions, feelings can be ongoing, especially coupled with the fact it's, however many thousands of, 18 to 22-year-olds all on campus. But you're working with counselors, you're working with psychiatrists, therapists, and so
exactly.
I guess if you submit or if you call this number or you reach out, it's not necessarily your if it's your friend. Your friend's not going to get arrested. Your friend's going to get the help that they need.
Right. We don't show up expecting to arrest somebody just based on what someone tells us through this information. Right. We look to see if someone is already engaged with them. We refer them to mental health resources if needed, if that's more appropriate. And we understand that sometimes people have some hesitancy to report. They maybe didn't think it was serious. They thought it was a joke, or they don't want the person to get in trouble. And we recognize all of that, right? And so that's why we don't take that immediate heavy-handed approach right away unless, unless we think something imminent is happening at that moment. Sure, that's a whole other story. Yeah, different ball game. But really we're talking about if someone is in the ideation or planning stages, that's where we really want to get in and interrupt that process for that person and get them the help they need and to keep people safe.
And unfortunately nowadays we hear about it far too often. Shootings on campus, and the shooting in Maine was the most recent one, obviously in the news. But there's usually signs beforehand, people noticing something. And this is the program for people if they want to reach out to you to say something to hopefully prevent something like that.
Yeah, precisely. I was just going to say, in almost every event of targeted violence, there is something that the person has leaked out that someone else has noticed, some kind of warning sign. And not judging others for not reporting or anything like that. Every situation is different, but just highlighting the fact that somebody knew something, and whether they told somebody or not, that's the information that we're trying to get. Is if it concerns you, then it's probably concerning to us as well. Let's talk about it.
And so again, for this, the link to this threat assessment, the information here is linked in the YouTube description on this video. But again, just call University Police 402-472-2222, or you guys have its own dedicated email, UNLPD threat assessment at unl.edu.
Yep.
So, good information to know. I did not know that something like that even existed. So
Yeah, like I said, it's been, it's not, we don't publicize it at the forefront of everything that we do, but it has been active for quite a while. And, I feel like we've helped a lot of students either avoid getting into further trouble or more importantly, just getting them resources. You know, helping them out.
But yeah, before they potentially hurt someone else or hurt themselves.
Exactly.
So, all right. Well, Captain Baker, I appreciate your time as always. Is there anything else that we wanted to put out into the streaming world before we let you go?
I don't think so. Hopefully, good turnout for the game this weekend.
Yeah, 11
nice weather
a.m.
for that.
Looks good. That's going to be nice. This is the one game where you kind of would hope it would be blowing and cold and maybe a little bit to maybe slow down Maryland. But, of course, it's going to be super nice.
It's going to be nice, yeah.
And then volleyball is at home, I think, today and on Sunday. So you guys will be busy with that as well.
Yep. It's picking up for us.
And then basketball started too, so you guys are busy with basketball, right?
It is a very busy time of year for us.
Absolutely. I mean, PBA isn't technically on campus, but is that still kind of your guys' area?
Yeah, we coordinate the safety for that, and we have officer staff that as well.
Cool. All right. Well, there you go. Again, thank you so much, Captain Baker, for jumping on and joining us today. Again, as always, appreciate everyone for tuning in and for watching. If you have any questions, again, any of those those websites, they're linked in the YouTube description of this video. So appreciate everyone for tuning in, for watching. And until next time, again, keep it